राम मुझसे कह दो लाख दसिया. Boys and girls, put yourself on mute, other will block you forever. Okay? Put yourself on mute. I give you right to unmute and speak. That doesn't mean, you can keep in unmute forever, actually. Okay? Boys and girls, any message, right now, we'll not handle it. We'll handle it only, keep typing the message. We'll respond to you, suitable time, maybe after the sessions, because I can't handle both the session as well as your. Thank you so much for asking my health. I'm good and back. I'm so happy. It was really bad 4 days back, 3 days back, and my suit up, BP for no reason suddenly suit up to a very unbearable level. But all of your grace and the God's Mahadev's Kripa, everything is okay now. I'm back. I've done 2 sessions today. This is my 3rd session, so I'm so happy that I'm back again. Boys and girls, this is the last warning for all of you, because let me block you forever. Just give me 1 second. Boys and girls, can you listen to me? One gentleman is causing pain for all of us. I'll just kick you out of the session, okay? Mr. Saket, KS Saket, can you mute yourself or I'll just kick you out of the group? Mr. Saket, can you come and apologize and, otherwise put you outside the group? I can mute you all very easily. I can mute you for rest of the session. You will not be able to ask any questions, and I've done this. I'll not allow you to unmute even. Okay. So let me speak at the end of the session. I'll unmute yourself. Sakcham, there will be no session today. And the Python test will have it tomorrow. And we'll continue with some sessions for the next 3 days before the Python starts. So we have got 3 days to complete the Python. Okay. Okay, let me chat once again on the group. Why people are not joining? Okay, we won't wait for any more. Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to Cyber Vidyapeeth Foundation. It's an entity dedicated for cyber defense engineering, education, research. We have been in the space for those people who are new to the session today. We are in the space for almost 2 years. For the last 3-4 years, we are working on with a simple sankalp to make 1 million cyber rakshak for Bharat, for resilient Bharat, cyber resilient Bharat. And today's sessions, we'll cover two dimensions: why Osint is important. Then we'll go into the dimension of what is Osint all about. Okay. So let me start with, why Osint and what has happened in the last 2-3 years time. Why Osint is creating a real wave in the country. Okay. So let me, talk without presentation, no presentation, for the first session. We'll cover it without that. Okay. All of you are able to hear me and see my face without any issue. Is that right? Any one of you can speak or just put in text, yes, we can, so that we can state. Any one of you, am I audible? Okay, wonderful. So even one person is hearing, I'm fine, okay? Oh, you are unable to unmute yourself because I have muted all of you. So I'm sorry for that, but boys and girls, a very basic discipline, switch off your mobile if you have with mobile, because we don't flicking between the mobile, you will miss some of the contents. And the second thing that, don't unmute yourself unless you want to speak, okay? That's a basic thing. I know who will be speaking here, so I can knock them off, but just avoid it because unmuting yourself will become difficult. So today, the dimension of war has changed completely. If you look into this Ukraine war, which is happening for almost 1.5 years now, 22nd February, actually it started. From Western world, it is 28th February when there was a response from Russia. And there is something happened between 22nd and 28th. It is worth and noticeable. It is worth mentioning here. Okay. 22nd February, the Putin visits India. Okay. 21st or 22nd February, he visits India. And he signs a lot of deals. Okay. And definitely he comes here only for 6 hours. He travels all the way from there to India. It was not a normal visit. It was a definitely war response visit. So what went wrong between 22nd, and 28th before the war started? Definitely there was a debrief sessions. So the two events have happened, and Osint, is the way you can go and search for it. Okay. Because it's an open domain and you can search for it and you can create your own story and narratives around that. So between 16 and 22nd, two significant impact things happen. That lot of Russian, systems which are related to defense have been brutally attacked by anonymous. Okay. And you know who are anonymous. Okay. You don't have to tell me. I don't have to tell you. Is that right? Who are the adversary for Russia? They will attack. And what was the reason why the attack has happened? Definitely Ukraine was one of them. Okay. So attack happened and Russia was preparing for response. And between 22nd, Russian government signs a lot of deals with government of India, last minute deals. He was there for 6 hours, but preparation must be on for over telephone for a long time. He came, negotiated the deals, signed the deals and left. One of the most important deal that has happened during that period was the oil will come to India from Russia. Ladies and gentlemen, don't, let me mute you all here. So a deal has been signed that India will get many things, including one very important thing. Okay. One S-400 deal was finally notarized and signed, that is brilliant deal for India because they've agreed for even some bit of technology transfers around that. And another deal was oil will come from Russia. India will do the refinery and the oil will go to European world. Because the moment Russia attacks Ukraine, the world will boycott him. World means, Western world. It is not world. Okay. So, NATO organizes all the country, the so-called, white countries, the big countries, those who matters in everything, they will boycott Russia. And oil, they will not buy from Russia. And there are many things happen from that. Only after a few days, our Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust gets attacked and massive ransomware scam. What is the scale of the attack? I can't discuss on that, because it's out of the question here. Okay. But there was an attack. It came in the newspaper. Almost very similar time, Indian oil got attacked in Northeast, in Assam. Was there a link between the two? Because oil was supposed to come to JNPT and Oil India was supposed to do some refining capabilities. Same time, Adani Port has been attacked. Same time, many other, oil refineries has been attacked. This survived, something came in the newspaper, something doesn't come in the newspaper. But motive was very clear that India should not buy $25 per petrol, which was coming to us when the cost of, those crude oils was crossing 100, breaching 100 plus. India was getting on $25. So on one hand, while the warfare was happening between the border of Russia to Ukraine and Ukraine to Russia, same time, hybrid war, the asymmetric war, started happening across the globe. The last 1 year, India has seen significant increase in the attacks. The certs, the document is yet to come in the public domain, but my feel is that it has almost double the numbers which has been declared in 2021. 2021 number was 14 lakh, 1.4 million attack reported to certain. Small or big events is immaterial. Big event will be in handful, maybe 1,000, 2,000 or something like that. But small events has been reported 1.4 million. So that was one war that was happening. Okay. The second war was happening on the same time, which is information war, which comes from the social media. Give me 1 second, gentlemen. So, same time, information warfare or cognitive warfare is happening across the globe. And India was definitely, one of those recipients for those wars. So why Osint is important is one of the reasons how to build a countermeasure for that. Who is reporting lies? Who is telling lies? Where the lies are coming from? How the lies are being spelled out. In cyber world, how the, these hackers are connected to each other groups. What are the new type of techniques they are using? What warfare tool is being utilized against Russia? Russia is getting a lot of war, related information. They're circulating their own threat intelligence feeds to their own companies. Those feeds are available outside. Many of them are in Russians, but are available in public domain. If you have the capability to mine those data sets, can create significant amount of countermeasure in your own capabilities. It's not that Osint is not being utilized by country. It is being utilized, no doubt about it, because if you are your borders are free from encumbrances, and definitely we are taking cognizance of that, and government has definitely built some capability. How much visibility is there? I don't know about that. I will not talk about it. It's not my area of concern, but the magnanimity of the asymmetric war, which includes cyber, information and cognitive warfare, has increased a threshold level, and there is a need for a deep engineering capabilities around that. The second reason why we need Osint is that a lot of lies, propagandas are being played around in the media. A lot of fake informations are being shared about the cyber attacks. Attack will come from the X methods and it is being circulated as Y methods. And we are preparing against Y methods, but we don't know what is the X methods. We are buying the threat feeds from the external companies because we want to protect ourselves. So where to get the threat feeds? We don't have our own threat feeds. So we'll buy from somebody else. Now think about it. If you are in war with China or Pakistan, will they ever share you a threat intelligence about their own attack techniques? Think about it. If your answer is no, affirmative no, then think about it. Why do we buy threat feeds from NATO today? In the world of diplomacy and in the world of geopolitics, there is no one is friend. There's no one is friend. You know, there are people who say the mild word for it. I don't use that mild word. The mild word is that there is no permanent friend or the permanent foe in diplomatic world. But I said everybody is an adversary. When the interest of that country comes, that becomes superior to that country and you become inferior to that country. So it comes from the threat feed which they can generate. And if the same threat feed is there, which they are using it as a tool of warfare, they'll never share you the tools. Let's not mince a single word around here. Then what is the next options available to you? You need to build as an organization, as a country, as a small or big organization, you need to build your own capabilities. Can Indian Defense Organization rely on the threat feed gathered by Pakistan, China, America, or anybody else? Even if they gather it from those countries, no one can trust that a statement. They need to try, test, validate, revalidate, reaffirm before they accept that as a threat field. Sometimes threat field may come from a friendly ally, least adversary. It's not the ally, you know, maybe ally, but not friends. No permanent friends and no permanent enemy. Only enemies are there in the diplomatic world. We speak nicely and we say that, you know, they are my allies. But in my opinion, the poison of our allies will be the least, but poison has to be there. And poison is their national interest. So buying a threat feed, which everybody does, think about it. We have got, you know, in Fortune 2000 company, we have got large presence of Indian conglomerates, maybe around 400 of them, 350 of them. If all of them buy 8 crore rupees or 10 crore rupees worth of, you know, threat feeds, and which does not generate a significantly important threat feed coming from the attacking countries, then these threat feeds, the money spent is as useless as a piece of paper, has no meaning for it. It is not notes, it is piece of paper. I hope you all understand this statement. Is that right? If you understand that, you will understand why the Osint is very important. Whether it is deep web or dark web. Let's understand the concept of deep web, those who are new to it. You know, I know many of you are expert on that, so you know it, but let me speak for those guys, boys and girls, those who are coming from the colleges. Anything which can be searched, searchable web is open web. But if you think Google open web is the size of the web, I'm sorry, they don't search even the 1% of the total information available in the public domain. It's not that they can't search. Many times they will not search, or many times they will search, but they will not generate report for you because it is critical for that nation. I don't know whether you understand this concept. 10 people sit together and make searches on something critical related to America. Many of you will get very, very interesting results which are very different from each other's or one another's. And that makes, you know, your intelligence journey very difficult. So trying one source of information as a final search engine can lead to a information which is a poison information to poison your brain and mind. In the year 2023 and 2012, when Modi was being told that he's a Kasai, he's the killer, he's killed many, whatnot, when you search in the Google, the most abhorred word, the Hitler of India, his name used to come on the top of the pages. These are all manipulations. There is something known as SEO, search engine optimization algorithms. And SEO is just one of those algorithms. Google actually uses more than 3,000 plus algorithms. Only one is known to the common people. More than 2,999 algorithms. We don't have any clue how the search engine will behave. That is the reason, you need to look for alternate channel of searches as a part of the Osint so that you can take the garbage out of it and generate, something information which are meaningful for you. So many times you need to triangulate the information. You can take it from Wordversary. You can go and search in Yandex. You can go and search in Bing. You can search in Google, and then you can go and search in Baidu. There are many search engines are there. And then you'll find that information coming from every source is way different from each other, actually, or one another. Why it is so? Because everybody's interest come first, and only those pages you can search which are truly actionable intelligence. So let's understand the complexity around that. Whoever creates the tool, they'll have their own national paradigm as the first pillar for giving you the information. If it is searched by the intelligence agency of that country, it will give a different error. And if it's search agency of India, searching those information, those pages, they will get absolutely different information. This is known as, in open source intelligence, information poisoning part of it. But why I'm talking about it? We are going to learn Python, and we are going to use Python for doing the searches. And why Python? Why not Multigo? Why not tools which are available in the public domain? The reason is very simple. Even Python, I don't trust it. Because the library used by Python, many times it has been manipulated. And you don't have any clue about those libraries. Is that right? When you use, encryption library of Python, PyCryptDome, the person who has written those things, only he knows what he has embedded inside it. In 1990, when the Gulf War took place, and Iraq has purchased $100 billion worth of arms and ammunition from America, they tried firing the cells using Scud missile. It didn't work. Why? Because they were fighting a battle with America, who is the maker of those tools. They know how to neutralize the tools when enemy wants to use against them. We need to buy tools from somewhere else? Why don't we create something? And that is where, the government in the last 10 years time, they've started, manufacturing a lot of things which were not being done here. What are great things, is being automated, guns. You can't win a war with the enemy's tools at any point of time. It will become dysfunctional whenever you want it to see. And that makes the journey very difficult. Are you all with me? Getting my point? Sense of, I'll just open, unmute yourself so that you can speak. I'd like to hear some contrary view if you have, or you have some formatting views. Okay. I've just opened it. If you want to unmute yourself and speak for a couple of minutes, please feel free to do it, because this is the engagement I want for all the people, those who are on the Zoom link, because you have procured this, feature. You must take the advantage of that. Those who are in YouTube, possibly, they'll miss this link, but they can still chat, and my boys and girls are there who will respond to the chats, and we can still live in the same place. We want to make the, education as democratic as possible. And that's the reason, this course is free for many, thousands of them, those who are joining the YouTube, and some of them who can afford to get some money. And many times this money doesn't come to me because we use tools and other things. We pay for that and try to make it as negligible amount as possible for all of you. So thanks for joining the course. Anyone of you want to speak, have unmuted yourself. At least just one person speak about it. I have already allowed you to unmute. Any one of you? Siva, Sindhu? Yeah, great.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, yes, please.
Sir, can you please elaborate a bit more on open source intelligence poisoning? You said that, for example, Google shows only 1% of the searchable information, but it is widely used all over the world to search anything. I mean, even if we have to search for spelling, like I'm typing a correct spelling or not, Google is the most wide searchable engine. So can you just please elaborate more on open source intelligence poisoning?
Search engine is not open source intelligence. Search engine is one way of finding your information. Okay. And having list of only one search engine is not sufficient. Because if that search engine is poisoned by algorithms, which is run by the American Intelligence Agency, you will not be able to see the contrary view of that actually. And when it comes to the search engines, which has the creator will always have the control of it. And that is the reason, you need to negate many of these informations from triangulating the information from various search engines, maybe Yandex, maybe Baidu, and there are thousands of them. I can have the list of more than around 16,000 search engines. It can be person specific, is a test specific. You want the person search persons on football, you will find it. You want to search the football's terminology, you will find it. You want to search the, the gun manufacturer company's name, you will find it precisely there. So there are a lot of refined search engines are there. Around 16,000 plus I have the list actually. Can't share you. There are huge amount of work I have done that space. So
basically, so sorry to interrupt. So basically, open source intelligence poisoning is we can define it as that poisoning or disturbing the algorithms that provide you the informations.
That's right. If the information, I want to give you only this portion of the information, machine learning will define that, and based on those algorithms, you will share the information out to the public. Think about it. You are going to a mall and you are getting an ad for it. That Adidas is giving 40% discount to you. This charcoal green is giving 30% discount to you. How to do that? Because they know about you. I don't know how many times you have searched the Google timeline. Anyone of you have searched the Google timeline?
Yes, sir. I have seen that even if you start searching for a product, all of your social media accounts gets filled with the information
with the same ad actually. Bombarded with the same ad with the discount and other things.
Sure.
Absolutely. So there are a lot of manipulation in the back end. Nothing is free on the earth. When you are coming free, it comes for a price. And many times, the search timelines, I have seen that even if the mobile is switched off, the timeline is still very accurate. It tells me that which path I have followed. And I get surprised actually. In a switched off machine, how you can find that? But I have seen it. You can try it yourself. You will find it. Because there is not one-way searches that Google is doing your timeline searches. But if Facebook is enabled, with your, by default, any application you download, they ask you for all the permissions, including, your GPS locations. So you allow that, and any tool which searches, they share the data with Google, and Google searches about you and create the timeline. It's aggregation technique, which we'll learn in the part of the Python, how the informations are aggregated to create your own views, timeline views, and other things. Okay. Anyone else? You have any questions? Please feel free to ask. Yeah.
Sir, I have. Sir, doesn't information poisoning also sometimes lead to wars within the country, like clashes between certain communities because of fake news or fake information?
Absolutely, it does. It does. If you search the search engine of latest Iraq war, when the Saddam Hussein has been killed. If you search for those times, you'll find the word WMD appeared more than 6.2 billion times on internet. And after 15 years, if you search for WMD, you will not get those much of information. There have been restricted now. Access to those information restricted. 2012, when I was doing a search on that, I found that it is number of the people, those who are on the earth. I did simple, text searches with a good HPC, high power computes. And I found only one result, that WMD, the number has come down, which was very high in 2008, 6 to 8 time period, which has come down. And now if you do the searches, you will not find that much of information. If you go to the archive and do the searches for that, possibly you'll get it. But even archives are being poisoned because it's being managed by Americans. But there are alternative archives are there, which you can go and search for that. And we'll learn it, as a part of the Osint journey. But trust me, information poisoning is far too serious issues as a part of the Osint journey, because Osint has got 4 layers of work. Let's understand that, okay? And this is an important question.
Sorry to interrupt, but I have just received a call from Shashank ji, and he's saying that please inform Balaji sir to receive a call from Shashank ji, as many people are trying to join, but they are having problem in joining. So, sir, please can you just contact Shashank ji?
Let me text him because my mobile is switched off, so it will take some time. If you can just tell him, ask people to join on YouTube, because YouTube is already on and is running actually.
Okay, sir, I'll just inform.
He has the link. You can ask him to do that actually.
Okay, sir, I'll inform.
Here not joining, there is no reason, because we have a 1,000 people license, so we should join. There's only 104 people. It is more than 100 people. Is that right?
Okay, sir. I'll inform him about the YouTube.
Yeah, ask him to join on YouTube. Okay. Yes, Sam Chauhan ji.
So my question is, if we are utilizing the Osint for information gathering, so we are utilizing only the surface web or deep web and dark web also? Thank you, sir.
Depends upon the organization you work for, depend upon the nature of work you do it, and what you give me just 1 second. Let me something.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, very much audible.
Okay.
Am I audible?
Why are we can continue, sir?
Yeah, no, I stopped it because there was some lot of calls coming from the people who are unable to join. So sorry for that. Yeah. So any other question that you have before I jump to the next, important topic?
Sir, my feedback to this program, sir. SP Sharma from ONGP.
Yes, Mr. Sharma, please.
Sir, we have received long mails, but thing is that the process to log in was very difficult for me at least. You should have intimated in advance that you should have a Zoom login.
Sorry for that. If you find it difficult,
No, sir, nowhere in your mail it has been stated that you should have a Zoom login. At the last moment, we are being communicated on WhatsApp that you log in like this. I have created.
No, not like
just
that.
now.
Sir, I agree with you. Your सिर आंखों पे आपको परेशानी हुई, माफी चाहता हूँ. You have been asked to join the Telegram group, which you have not joined. In Telegram group, this message has been given.
Sir, already I am there. I have joined Telegram group.
So in the Telegram group, it is very clearly written. The link is also given actually. Please have a look of the links, okay?
The link is me, but
anyway, there's a feedback. I have taken it. I apologize for that.
It should be user friendly, sir. Login should be user friendly.
First mail is always like that. If you want that, I'll send you only the login ID for you. No problem. And all the communication will happen only on Telegram. No mails from our side. It is not physically and technically and the cost effective to send mails on the emails.
So one
requires a lot of effort.
So there is one request from my end. Whatever the late joiners for them, you can quickly recap what has been left out.
No, I don't need to report it. It will be there on the video on YouTube, so we can continue there. Okay. I'm just muting you all because otherwise, the recorded visual have a lot of things, which is not required to be there. Okay. So please excuse me for that. Okay. Okay. You all are mute now. So let me continue with the next chapter. Okay. So open source intelligence is all about finding things from the digital world which are scattered in many places. So for me, open source will vary from the open source, for you as an individual. Okay. The reason is that I might be having access to 30 or 3 lakh, Twitter accounts of hackers. For me, those informations are open source. For you, if you are not there, then those informations are closed source and it is not available to you. And I will teach you, how to go into that domain, how to create so many people, so many accounts, how to get access to those information, how to extract those information, how to integrate the API with Pythons. So somebody asked me the questions whether, it's only open web. So there are three webs are there. One is open web, which can be searched through the search engine. Technically, you should search everything, but you can't search anything in everything because only those things are searchable, which the search engine allow you to do it. Unless you have got your own algorithm, on your own search engines, which actually keep mining those data and keeping the cache file for that. Then it becomes a next journey altogether. Then the second part of journey is that, certain places you have got open web, but you require to put your CAPTCHA or some cookies to be enabled. Cookies and CAPTCHAs means, they are trying to stop you and they want to know more about you. Now, if you have become party to that, you have already, joined those groups, beforehand, and then you are searching on data on that, that becomes part of your open web or my open web if I'm already there. And there are a lot of bypass techniques out there, okay, which will share you some portion of that, not all of that. It's a very complex subject. It requires more than 200 to 300 days of, sincere study to become good at it. That's the reason you say 0 to intermediate. It is not 0 to hero or 0 to, super experts actually. So we'll try to get you all what you can learn through Python, the basic scripting skills, and to reach to a place where you understand the dimensions of open source intelligence. So when you are in security operations center, many times you do searches, is that right? So when you do the searches, you search on, like Virus Total is one of the site where you go and search. In turn, Virus Total searches on 15, 20 more sites, if you have got, enterprise accounts of Virus Total, it searches for around 200 accounts, 200 other webs, and give you integrated list for those information. Like in Virus Total, normally you search for an IP address, a hash value, or a domain name. If domain name is ever been blacklisted by anybody of them, any one of the organization, then they will flag it is blacklisted, which means this domain name is possibly having a malicious information. I'll give you an example for that. When you search in the simple Virus Total, an IP address 8.8.8.8, which is used by many people as one of the DNS servers. When you search it into Virus Total, you will find one organization has flagged off it as a malicious site, and which is an Indian organization. Is known as, the owners are Indians. Cybel is one of the company. Those who said this release the all other, are having the American antecedents, they say it is all clean. So it is very important in open source intelligence to take the information and do the correlation of information by various other search techniques to establish the truth around that. Ultimate goal is not generating the data. So let's understand the dimension of the data, okay, before we go into the Osint process. And I'm not having any slide here because you need to understand this is a very simple one. It's not required any slide for that, okay? In the study materials, I'll provide you those information. Anything, whatever I'm speaking, will have some references available for you. So in a data to actionable intelligence journey, there is a journey, okay? First is the data, which is available, but data is not actionable intelligence. Then after data, you mine the data and you put some filters around that, then the data becomes information, but it's still not actionable intelligence. Then it is blended with human intelligence or so many other correlation of information to generate an actionable intelligence. Let's take an information in a crude example. Intelligence Bureau, I'm just using name, excuse me if any one of you are there from there, gives a feed to Maharashtra government that there will be bomb blast in Bombay. It is data for me, and for even the police authority will become data because Bombay is too big. We need precise information where it is. So next information, we will give another information. It is in Bandra Kurla complex. Still, it is a information. It is not actionable intelligence. Third piece of information comes that this is Naman chamber, 8th floor, below this table. This is actionable intelligence. So you all understand the journey. Journey is all about data to information blended with so many other information to generate actionable intelligence. And human plays an important role. Human can be replaced by something AI, because similar type of information you can search and find something out of that, which will be 1% of your human interfaces, but it will give you good results. So any blending that you, correlation of information you do, that becomes the third cycles before generating the actionable intelligence. In world of intelligence, it is only actionable intelligence that is super critical and that works well for it. But it works well even for the data. That there is one person comes to the army station and says, there is something unusual happening in this particular mountain, which I have never seen in the past. What is unusual? They said, somebody is praying, namaz. 10 people are praying namaz and they are in very white gear. I've never seen in the past. For, army, it is just a piece of information, but, or maybe, may not be actionable intelligence. Now, army will have their own, intelligence capabilities to find whether they are intruders, they have come in our territory, whether the satellite monitoring can be done. Can I find the geo search engines, to find which is the location? Is there any anything unusual? Is there activities is there in that particular place of land which he's talking about? We'll do a lot of intelligence. We'll build it. Then finally say, yes, this is the hill, this is the geolocation, and possibly there are so many bunkers there. That becomes actionable intelligence. So in the journey of actionable intelligence, there are a lot of information, poison information will be there. Now, suppose if that Gaderia comes and gives you wrong information, actually he has seen on the left side and purposely he's giving you right side. How do you validate that? Then you will find your focus will be right side and you will be actually missing the right signal which is coming from the left side. So intelligence investigators or researchers, they need to lot of cognitive science to find what is possibly a poisoned information. And that becomes a very interesting part of the investigator's responsibility, because investigators provides a very refined information at the end of it that need to be actionables. If there is no actionables and if it is misleading, then can lead the entire direction of the organization in a wrong way. So there is always triangulation of information will happen from one side to another side to prove it that it is there. I'll give you an example, live example for that. I found one attacker groups, they're attacking India for the last 2 years time. Just after they are more prominent, they were attacking India since 2012 actually, but they were very small fry. They were doing and then sleeping for months together. They had some chat windows which will remain open for months. They will never come back. After 1 year, they will come and they'll leave one information, they'll sleep there. After Ukraine, I found them very active. Now the modus operandi for that looks like it is from China. They'll use all the traits which Chinese attackers uses. But the footprint of those attackers are one and the same. But you need to know what is their footprints, where they are coming from, what were the antecedents, how they are connected to the network, how they are connected to the larger picture of a country, where they have come from, how they have come from, where they have generated this information, and why this is suddenly happening, why they are, making allegations on us. What is the motive for them? What is the larger goal for them? Those information will provide you a very distinctive insights before going into complete intelligence gathering for that particular organization. If anonymous Uganda is another group, which is, Anon Uganda, they call it. They come and attack us and they say that we have ripped off India as this particular government, entity, or they don't do the government entity. One time they do it a small names, looks like a government organizations, but they make news out of, they make fun out of that. And many times they do seriously breach it and then talk about it. So just be careful about it. The information which are available is not actionable intelligence. So Osint journey is a long journey, and negating the poisons, negating the misinformation becomes an important, task for the investigator. Okay, so I'll give you another very interesting example for that. In the world of information warfare, Generating evidences for information warfare is very, very difficult, but it's not very difficult to find it out. They are fake or they are. Now, information comes, recently I have, done some work on that. I can share you, if you want, I can share you my screen. Let me see. This is a report, one report, it got published last, 2 years back. It is known as Hunger Index. Let me show you the name of that. Global Hunger Index, Food System Transformation and Local Governance. All of you can see my screen. If any one of you can say yes, on the text window, or you can just put a thumbs up on the screen. Okay. Okay, wonderful. Awesome. So this is simple report, there's nothing to it. You can download it. You search in Google, you can find it and you can download it and you can read it. There's nothing hidden on it. It's an open source report. So the day report has been published, there was something, is it coincidence or something like that? I searched for the report. I didn't find this report. The first tweet of this particular thing has appeared in one of the Pakistani site. On a Twitter who was a Pakistani person, okay? And with weird names, it doesn't look like a Pakistani, okay? But when you search for that Twitters, and there are people, those who follow him or her, you can easily find that, he's a Pakistani guy. And you can also search the Google location of that, there are some techniques you can find it out, I'll not talk now, but we'll talk later, when we'll go into the class for that. How to find the geolocation for a particular, Twitter feeds and other things, you can find it, if you have got some ways and means to find it. I found that was very, very unique, that the first tweet that came for that particular case was from Pakistan. I was monitoring that group, so I could see that there is something important has come up. And the interesting thing is that Pakistan is better than India. Okay, that was the word. And the word was ended with go to hell. Okay. Now think about it. This reports, and the credibility of the reports. So Pakistan was on 99th position. In the worst case, the best was, I think, we show you the best one. It was Belarus, Bosnia, Herzegovina, China. And I'll tell you a very interesting thing about Bosnia and Herzegovina. Okay. Why they are not the best state? Because there are a lot of internal war is happening there. And much bigger things are going to happen in next few months. Okay. And in the very thing, the same thing, there was another index which is known as happiness index. Bosnia and Herzegovina was in very good position. Okay. And next 6 months from now, I'm telling you, they are 26 September. So next year, March, Bosnia and Herzegovina is going to be the next Syria. It is as bad as that actually. And it doesn't happen, in 1 year time. Okay. All these things happens over a period of time, 8-10 years time. So you have to think on that line. Now, how come India is in 107th position, which is worse than Sudan, who is begging for food every second day to India? And we are sending our, food ration to. Forget about them. Even the US was in a very bad condition last year, and we supplied the best quality, Saramati wheat to them. So this is a very classic case of information warfare. And there is a whole game that you need to understand. It's very difficult to decode and find that who is directly connected to that. That's the most difficult work in the entire Osint analysis. If you can do that, then you are already guru in that space. Okay. But there are clear linkages. If you this information, you data mine it and we find with other information available on internet on the same time, then you will find that this report is a fake report. And after that tweet, the many people from US tweeted, and then there was first tweet came from a place Pune. Okay, I can't talk about that person, but let it be a silent word around that. But after that, all the politicians have started, tweeting, and it remained the top 10, Twitter trend for next 30 days across the globe. And India was being shown as in the poor light of the world. And few months after that, everybody was begging food to India, because India stopped supplying, rations, the wheats to the world. And they were all started feeling the pain of it, because Ukraine, the wheat bowl of the world, is under the fire. The next wheat bowl of the world is India. If they stop giving supply, the price of the food will go up. And after that, rest is the history. Okay. The best thing is that, I don't know whether you noticed this or not. Sri Lanka. Okay. It was on 64th positions, world's most beautiful place to live as far as food hunger is concerned. 64th place. India is in 107th place. And last year, just after the report, 4 months after the report, they were begging for food. Actually. Now, as a Osint analyst, you need to be very careful about it, which piece of information you take. This is one general example I gave you. There are many such examples on cyber side of it, where the informations are absolutely blatantly wrong, but it is coming from rightful sources. Blatantly wrong information coming from the most rightful sources. And, I can keep showing you those evidences, and you will be mesmerized at how information poisoning happens. Are you all with me? Getting a sense of some of the, thing that you can find it out and close it at the past. So Osint is not only important for cyber defense engineers, it is important for all the agencies. It is important for corporates. I'll give you another example, where we detected a potential insider threat. So one person was actually, and I'll give you an example, a real life example. So there was a person, in Saudi Arabia, in one of the largest petroleum companies, Saudi Aramco, which have undergone a massive breach only a few years back. Okay. And the reason of the breach was some USB device which has been plugged inside the organization. Around 10 people plugged those devices, and 30,000 machines have been ransomware. And, they stopped functioning. And the oil price shoot up from $32 per barrel to $60 per barrel within 10, 15, 20 days time. And the purpose was that if the Saudi Aramco does not produce oil, there will be false scarcity created, which will lead to shoot up of the price, which will benefit all the OPEC country, which is led by, none other than some of the big NATO countries. Now, how it all happened, it was very interesting, and there is you can connect the dots, okay? I'll not share you the evidences, but I can connect the dots. So one person who was a sweeper, okay? There are many people who are sweeper, those who are visiting the Saudi Aramco. He has begged for some money in one of the, Twitter channel, that he needs money to safeguard take care of his children, because he is a sweeper, he does not have money. And he needs some money for it. And some persons, gives the information to the outside world, and a lot of things are information correlated. Then it was told that, he's the one, he possibly thrown the USB devices in the parking lot, which possibly has been asked to do so. And they could not correlate it, but, I know that person got arrested by Saudi Arabia, and later on, the relationship has come up. So a person's, within your organizations, insider threat, is a serious threat. Ladies and gentlemen, those who are part of the corporates and defense organization, they know the value of it. Insider threat is a significant threat. As per the study by Stanford, 2020, 85% cyber attack has got insider attached to it. It is not malicious insider always. It is also the stupid insider. They are equally damaging for the company. Many times, Osint can help you search for such people, Jekyll Hyde characters, by doing proper insider threat management program, which covers your open web. And there are ways and means of doing it. We have got another very interesting trainings, on insider threat management program using Python, which is all about how to build your own insider threat management programs. And find the anomalies and potential insiders within your organizations. And you must do it. If you're a large organization, you must do it. Because if another example I'll give you, which has happened recently. It came in the open web, where one person actually was looking for he was doing some good work on LinkedIn. Okay, he was publishing a lot of good reports, interesting report on OT systems. Now, these reports were being published as individuals on the corporate world in the LinkedIn. In his profile, everything is written about that company. So a message come to his chat box on LinkedIn. Many people were follower. He was big person, more than 3 lakh people were following him. So he was one of the top trender in LinkedIn. One person comes and say, you are doing awesome work. I think what you are publishing it here worth around lakhs of dollars actually. And I'm so happy that if you give me your Bitcoin ID, I'll give you some $5,000. He sends a link for his Bitcoin account, and the person genuinely sent $5,000. Now, he chatted with me on his LinkedIn chat, not personal chat one-to-one, okay? LinkedIn chat. Now, this information was there, and many people were there very happy that, somebody is giving $10,000. He also shared that in the same chat. And he was having some privacy settings, so he was unable to send him in his one-to-one chat. So he has to give in the public chat. So he chatted there, which was in the domain. If any one of you are connected to him, you can see him that he is earning $5,000. Next time, he sent 5,000 and he congratulates and he said that terrific work you are doing. If you, write a next report on this topic, I'll give you $20,000. He writes, he puts good efforts, he puts a lot of company related information on that, his own learnings of last 3 companies. And he has worked in all critical infrastructure. So his last 3 companies details, he put it and write a nice notes around that. Brilliant piece of article. Many people liked it. He said, give me your official email ID. I'll share your link. Fill up your information, the correct information about you. Who you are, I don't know, because you might have some wrong ID. If I know it, I'll give you things. So he sends his official email. He gets a link in the office mail. And he clicks it. Nothing happens on the systems. His system gets compromised. And that led to compromise of many. He was one of the administrator of the company. So many other systems got compromised. Now, if you have got social media monitoring and open source intelligence built into your employee's profile, whether legally allowed or not, I don't know about what you need to do it, because you can't find Jekyll and Hyde a character just like that. And I think, unfortunately, Government of India has not published a policy definitive to, insider threat management program. If someone of you who matters, please raise a concern for that. Insider threat management is one of the rules of US, 13786, which is the number, which is already presidential order. US is doing it for all the listed companies. We should do that, which will give you some legal things for monitoring and other things. Otherwise, if you monitor it, people can go to court or something like that. But this piece of information could have saved the organization that, he's going to send the official link and other things, which was available in the public domain. So open source intelligence is all intelligence which is available to your eyes. So if you are connected to the person, you know it. If you are not connected to the person, still you can do the searches. There are a lot of companies are there, those who provide this information for a small money. If there is a need for it, you want to really go deeper into it, you should pay that. There are a lot of companies who provide you free API if you give your identity to that. There is a catch there. I'll tell you later on, what identity you should provide, why you should not provide your true identity, how you can hide your identity. Those things are there, which are very advanced topics. We'll share it, during the classrooms, in days to come. So it's very important to understand the dimension of Osint is very big. It can be useful for law enforcement agencies. It can be useful for locating, a fake photographs. It can be good for, finding your own footprints, which you have wrongly shared anywhere. It can be used for, corporates, for comprehending if there is a internal breach is happening in any one of the organizations. Many times, the persons gets connected to some groups and he share information there. You know that he is potentially a hacker sitting in your organizations. So there are a lot of things you can do to data mining of these things and can find something very, very interesting for that. Any question here, before I jump to the actual topic, Osint? Let me unmute yourself. Okay, you can unmute yourself to speak. By the way, many of you are from government organization. Please don't declare your names and department names, not required. Just put because it's a public domain discussion. So
Sir,
just tell your name. Yeah, very much, very much.
Sir, myself, Vishnu Wagmare, I just wanted to know whether Government of India is planning to have any guidelines on the insider threat, because what you told you about the US government. So are we having, so we have got another legislation like DPDP Act recently enacted by the Parliament, and these were on the very much on this side. But what about the insider threat management?
No, I have not heard any movement
legislation
around that. If any one of you have any information, please, because I don't have any information which clearly says they are looking for, programs. I have given my recommendations, in writing to, the last NCSC, in the PMO, and also talked about it in many of my talks. But I have not seen any movement around that. It's a good time to have it on, because insider threat is seriously risky components, and we need to, you see, I don't believe that, everybody is bad, but there is one person is bad in your organization can run down your organization completely. And critical infrastructure, not having an insider threat program, I think it's a callous attitude, I can tell you, nothing else. You can still form your own policies and you can bound the people by the policies. That is allowed very much. So, but there is need to for, a national framework around that, and which I have not seen it unless it is happening and I'm not aware about it. So my apology for that.
So even though corporates form the policy, so it comes from the Government of India, like mighty directions or certain directions. So it has got the component of those dictates they have to comply with in the first go.
You are right, but in absence of them also, you can create your own policies and you can still continue to do that. When the people joins and when they continue the organization, you have a policies, you have to follow those policies. You can create one. But if it comes to the national mandates, then everybody, is bound to have one. Then there is no question of not having it. Then it is a legal, regulatory framework. So you have to do it. But risk is real. So even if there is no such things are there, if you're a part of some corporate and you have some say around that in policy making, you should build one. I can share you, 30, 40 reports around that, how the insider thing has actually damaged it. I don't know Ashok ji is there in the call or not today, is a good friend of mine. I think I might have missed to share him directly one-to-one. He's doing PhD in insider threat management. So he could have been a good asset I'll get him in some of these days. But insider threat is definitely one of the risks that we need to think. But any risk, which is there available, you can find the footprint of that on open source. I think it's a great opportunity to build a capability in-house. You cannot trust the, actionable intelligence coming from the foreign governments, and I fail to understand that, either we should have a very strong threat intelligence team within the government organizations, and they should share every bit of information to the rest of the organizations. We should not allow them to buy anything from outside, because many times it is manipulative, many times it takes you to another direction. Trust me, I have not seen anything, visibly super great in those threat feeds actually, except that, some threat feeds which comes with make you aware about that this hasn't happened. Possibly this is 0 days and nothing has come so far, and you have got some contributions around that. If the TTPs are there along with that, sometimes it is useful, but it is not greatly useful unless you have built your own capability around that. Anyone else, want to join this discussion? Feel free to, discuss it, because that will give you a very good, insight. You will remember the things much in depth than I do one-way communication.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yeah.
So there are chat GPTs and AIs currently working. So how it affects the Osint?
You can build your own generative AI engines for generating actionable intelligence for that. That really helps. But trusting the chat GPT again will provide you with all the information. Search for it. I want to search on the malware, this malware. They will say you are not entitled to ask these questions. But there are many ways you can manipulate them. How to manipulate chat GPT to give you significantly large amount of information by manipulating their minds and their keyword searches actually. It's a very interesting story and the real story. And I can show you the entire scripts around that and how we could generate, significant amount of malware writing skills out of that, which normally they don't disclose actually. Okay. And that is definitely Osint actually, but you need to manipulate the chat GPT's mind actually to get a lot of insightful informations out of that. So ChatGPT is a simple tool, it's not very difficult tool, but it requires a lot of understanding how to make the searches on that actually. And the search manipulations is the most important part of GPT, which people are not even aware about. But I believe that, all these GPTs, including 4.0, will not give you the right information because there are algorithms to block them. On top of that, they will set the information to block them. So you'll have to create your own GPT equivalent, LLMA type of tools you need to build, and you can create your own capabilities. So we'll discuss about that, how to make your own small bit of GPT. It's not a part of the syllabus because it's too ahead of things, but we can discuss about some component of how you can build your own things. But at the end of the course, you should be able to develop your own scripts, to do something interesting out of that. Okay, any other questions before I jump to the next one?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
So what about LinkedIn? Because everyone are nowadays being asked to share everything about their profile in LinkedIn. And nowadays, recently, we are also being asked our pictures of Aadhaar card and all. So basically, is it safe or?
Not safe. Anything you are putting your pages on the social media, they are all data mined and they are all aggregated to divulge many information about you. You should avoid it. In Aadhaar card, there is something concept of Aadhaar. I don't know how many of you are aware about it. Aadhaar has got certain data mapped actually, masked. Only certain field of the data you will get it. And Aadhaar is the best way of sharing your everyone. Anyone asking for full Aadhaar 12-digit number, legally it is illegal. And you can quote the section of, Aadhaar Act, which is available on Google. You can search it and find it out. Don't give 12-digit Aadhaar number to anybody. If anybody asks for it, please challenge them. I went to one of the defense organizations. They asked me, give me Aadhaar card. I gave the masked Aadhaar. They didn't agree to that. I went to another office. Some people are there here, part of the team, I asked in the ground floor itself, they asked, give me the data. So I gave a master Aadhaar card. They didn't accept. They said, no, I can't let you give. I said, I'll not go. Doesn't matter. Then I called the organizer, those who are organizing the team. So they came and then say, no, it is allowed. And then they allowed me to take. You'll have to, voice your concern about the data privacy. It is your data and you have to protect yourself. If you start giving freely to everybody, it's not going to stop. As a girl, I'll suggest you, any girl, those who are there, please stop giving your own face information on social media. Don't celebrate your birthday on the social media. Celebrate at home. It is better. Celebrate on college. It is better. Don't post it on the social media because all those informations, I'll share you some information, a video with me, which clearly says that how the data is mined. And so Osint, you can do it through data mining, through photographs and videos. I'll just note it down so that, I can share you tomorrow. You can see you the videos and that will really interest you. Or Vishnu, if you remember that, that video, we can give you rights. You can play it. Keep searching for that and play it when it is available. Okay.
Sir, if I'm getting,
I'll give you the share rights. Yeah. Search it and then, share it with the group. It's very interesting, data mining using the photographs and open source intelligence using videos and photographs. And we can build those scripts, no rocket science here. It's very easy to do that. Social media is all coming from intelligence organization. Please, boys and girls, they are not free from encumbrances. They are coming funded by intelligence organizations. So any organizations, you have said TikTok, or whether it is WhatsApp, government organization, people will not tell you.
Hello,
I'm telling
sir.
you bluntly. Yes.
Deepali Kaushik C.
Yes, please.
Deepali Kaushik videos.
Yes, gentlemen. You're saying something. I think you're muted again.
Sir, there was one participant, Deepali Kaushik.
Okay.
think उन्होंने कुछ तो अलग वीडियो लगाया था, अनवांटेड वीडियो सर.
Okay. I could not see it here actually.
मैंने देखा है सर, 5 मिनट 2 मिनट चल
No,
रहा था.
this is completely ridiculous actually.
Yeah,
And in
yes.
the forum, if it happens like this, it is very disturbing.
Okay, I'll search for that because these are all participant list I have. Sai Deepak Dipali.
Yes sir, Deepali Kaushik, same Deepali Kaushik.
Gentlemen, can you unmute yourself and put your video on? Sai Deepak Dipali. Okay. Okay, I'll remove you for rest of the sessions you are done. Come back to me. If you want to be here, you have to come back to me. Okay, I'm just removing you from the group. Good. Thank you so much for giving me the insights. Really appreciate it. I didn't see that actually, searching something else. Okay, so what's next, and no more questions then I'll just go to, another portion of that. Let me take you to the journey actually. So I'll just, cover it from one slide to another slide. I'll keep moving for that.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I got the video.
Okay, you want to play it? I have given you rights.
Okay, sir.
You have to enable the, sound also. So you know how to do that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, wonderful.
Hey Serena,
Yeah,
what you got in your bag?
it's my new heels for graduation. Good morning, guys. Guess what day it is? It's my birthday. Hey, where are these charges coming from?
Thank you, Vishnu. Thank you, buddy.
Welcome, sir.
You can remove that, unshare it. Are you all with me?
Yes sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, any one of you want to speak, feel free to speak actually, because this topic we must discuss. Because the way, yes, please.
Recently I was listening to one of the interview of I don't know the name of the person, but he also advised not to share the pictures on social media because nowadays the misogyny or the hackers or the cyber hackers are using AI tools to carve your own faces and use them on the pornographic sites and then blackmail you for the money and threats on all these things.
That also is happening. That's the reason I said, girls, please don't share your photographs on social media. Just close it off forever. I love sharing my photographs, on the social media, but most of the names and photographs are always funny type of things. I've got beautiful Russian photograph, beautiful Iranian woman photograph, uh, beautiful Arabic woman photograph. Okay, with hijab, without hijab. So do that. Don't put your own photograph. That's the right thing to do. Okay. So be careful about what you share on the internet. Is everything is available for data ingestions, data, curations, and finally data manipulations. In the world of AI, anything can happen with these informations for you, against you. Just be careful about it. Once you are careful, you don't care about it. Anything that you share, it is all data mined very easily. Very easily. Your chat, yes, no, who is following you, who is not following you, who likes you and you like him, shows the bondness of the relationship. You can find a lot of information. Many times what happens, it's very difficult for me to know who is the CFO of the company, but thanks to the LinkedIn, and paid accounts, you can search who is the CFO of XYZ accounts. Now he has followership, 30, 40,000 people, 10,000 people will his own company people. Many of them will publish their email ID on that chats. I have the chat ID, and I know 5 people have got a similar pattern of the IDs, first name, last name ID, and then organization name. Now I know who are the CEOs of the organizations. CFOs are connected with so many other followers across the country. So create the links, create all the data that I know that, what will be the email ID of this CEO. And many times these email IDs are available in the MCA submissions, which are available in the public domain. I don't know, you all understand MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. They publish a lot of information about directors. If you can find a name, you can search for their DIN number. If you have the DIN number, you can find a lot of information about the company there. What Hindenburg does, exactly that actually. Of course, Hindenburg story is another fake story, which time will come to prove it. It was a hit and run type of story against India, actually. They wanted to destabilize Adani because Adani was destabilizing China left, right, and center, actually. So the day Hindenburg report came, 2 days before that, we have taken over the Haifa airport. Haifa port. And the world knew that, the next destination is Greece, and Adani is going to get 2 ports in Greece. And we got it also. So we are going to shock China anywhere they want to go. They have to cross our barriers, actually. Yes.
So the Adani episode that you just mentioned in a case study, isn't it the example of what we earlier talked about, the open source intelligence poisoning? That
Yeah, absolutely. Hunger report, happiness reports, Hindenburg reports. You need to understand where it is coming from. What is the motive for that? Even the Hindenburg himself, who was he 10 years back? Was a car driver in Israel. I can give you 10 photographs of them driving the cars. Suddenly he become the world-class, analyst. A driver becoming analyst is something big thing. And it's Adani. They're all cock and bull stories. So when you find somebody's name is being popped up by a group of cabals, you know that there is a reason for that, actually. So just be careful.
So how to trust how to trust the information, how to trust this?
Become an Osint analyst, create your own company, and you find the fake information from across the globe and publish it and defame them. And they will come back to you begging to you that, please don't publish it next time.
So we have embarked on that journey.
We need to embark on that journey because they are the one who has the tools to manipulate our mind. And we need to find and build the countermeasures how to avoid those manipulations of our populations. Government will do their bits, but we need to do our bit as well. Government is always doing, right things, irrespective of whatever capability have. But we have to do our own bits also.
Thank you.
We need to build the capability, and the Python that you are going to learn in these sessions, it is something very interesting because that will help you reduce the cost of operation of your company significantly.
Sir,
Why to? Yeah.
Sir, a basic question for a person like me who comes from the non-computer background and who doesn't know any computer language, will it be?
We'll teach you from scratch. Just be passionate about it. Don't run away after 4 or 5 class. Be passionate about it. You will learn it. We are going to teach you from scratch. As a matter of fact, the person who is going to teach you, he has written a book on Python.
Okay.
And he is one of the Director General Police of one of the states in India. Okay. And he runs the CID.
Sir, name of the book, please, sir.
I'll share you the book name. Yeah.
Okay.
And the content will be available freely to you. All of you, you'll be able to use his book's content. We'll share you freely. He's such a kind-hearted soul. Despite his busy schedule, he said, Balaji, I want to take all 15 classes. I said, we all have 10 people to train. Sir, why to bother for? Take 1 or 2 sample classes. Bola, no. This capability should be there with everyone who comes to this training session. So I'll give the training. So I'll give him the flexibility which day he does not want to take, I'll take the class. Or some of my friends will take the class. And I'll allow him to take the Python class on his own, actually, with his own pace. But this will be an amazing journey, I can tell you. If I wish all of you have been here. Many of you have not paid and you are on YouTube. You'll not be able to take the advantage of being on Zoom platform and chit chat with us. But thanks for joining in, on YouTube. Please do the learning. Learning and skill is free. Please do it. Do it with passion. Not because it's free, so you'll go off, after 2-3 days time and you will not learn. What we are going to teach you is worth around $8,225. You can search it yourself, SANS 497, and go and search my syllabus. You'll find it is 3 times more than what it is being taught in SANS 497. 3 times more than that, actually. And SANS will tell you how to use the tools which has been developed by the intelligence agencies, Maltigo. We'll teach you how to create your own Maltigo. Without using Maltigo, can you get the same results? And it is very much doable. If you are passionate, we'll build our own capability at the end of the course in next 30-40 days. All of you will create 4 or 5 minimum scripts, which will give us a very interesting flavor of Osint. And this group will be there. We'll keep working for next 1 year. We'll develop our own tools, which will be equivalent to Maltigo. If all of you are passionate, I've already called it in the corporate world at the age of 50, with just one dream to create 1 million cyber army for the Bharat, cyber Rakshak for the Bharat. And at the age of 50, leaving a job, lucrative job, and that is the period you earn the highest, actually. It's not that easy. But my entire team in Cyber Vidya Peeth Foundation is very, very passionate about it, that we have to build the capability, and a lot of like-minded people who support us. And really thanks to all of you who have paid, because we need money to continue to grow in this path, because we definitely need some cash surplus. Please share my screen. I'll share some more insights on some of the components. Okay. Okay. So I'll just keep browsing through some of the pages so that, today we can wrap it up with, some basics of, open source intelligence before we jump into, the original Osint, which will have some use cases to talk, and then we'll go into the technical aspects of, Osint. Okay. So what is Osint? Osint stands for open source intelligence, which is actually case of data mining from publicly available data or information that you have access to. If you have access to dark web, you can do the data mining. It will be known as open source intelligence for you. It may be a restricted area for me. So, because in dark web, you cannot do the searches. Dark web is a place where DNS does not work. Domain name server does not work. Your domain name will be so alphanumeric and so big using domain generation algorithms, and it lasts for only few seconds, a few minutes, few hours, or few days. And it is not listed in any of the DNS server. But if you can do data mining there also, if you have access to it and do data mining, it is a part of your Osint only. But in strictly speaking, the Osint is all about publicly available data. Without bypassing the captcha, without doing a hacking of the systems, if data is available, it is okay. And, once it is analyzed, it's a cycle of data, information, human, and then actionable intelligence. So it's a very interesting journey of open source intelligence, which provides you some insight in the area which you are looking for. Okay. And I'll show you some of the very interesting things. You want to know which particular part of the India, how many flights are flying at this point of time, you can get those data. What are the ships are actually approaching Indian Oceans? You can get those data sets. What are the ships are crossing the Suez Canal now? All those details are available on the public domain. Many of them. I'm not saying all, but many of those data are available. If you want to know a specific flight, what time it has flown from one place to another place, the data is available. You should know how to mine the data. If you want to know that, in your place, you are sitting in one house, near to your house, how many people are active on Twitter right now, you can know about it. So there are many ways, you can find those, gather those information, and those informations becomes part of your investigation. And finally, the journey is to find actionable intelligence. It is not a pure plain journey. Suppose, I'll give an example for that. There was a very interesting photograph came on the, NDTV and many such TV, okay? And in NDTV played more than 3-4 days he was playing that, I don't know what was the purpose. 3-4 days, normally one Ukraine war related data, one time it will come, it will not be repeated again tomorrow. Tomorrow there will be new information there. But this particular screen has been rotated more than 4-5 times. So it caught my eyes. So I took the videos, and then searched those, videos on the internet that with similar videos are there. Then I found another video which was there 4 years old. And then, I, got into some more details about it. Then I found that this video has metadata which actually suggest, okay, let's understand.
Who are you? Huh? Who are you? Pondu Pondu? Hey, you bad? Who the fuck are you, huh? Who the fuck are you, you bitch?
Can somebody find who is the person?
Sir, R. Rahul. R. Rahul.
Okay. Okay. No worry, we'll find him out because we have got the Zoom things. I'll find an FIR against him. I've got Zoom ID with me because here access is only through the Zoom ID. So we'll find it, no worry. So ladies and gentlemen, what I'll do tomorrow, I'll send you all a link, information sharing link, where you have to give me your Zoom ID and the email ID used for Zoom. Okay, just email ID used for Zoom. Because I want, everybody to be here. No worry. So tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have links shared to you on your email ID, to all of you. And in that ID, you will have to provide me your Zoom ID. And all logins that you do it, is done only through email ID. Is that okay?
Yes.
So that will, avoid this nonsense, because if I share it in the public domain, I have not shared it in the public domain, by the way. All of you has been shared. So I will definitely find these guys. Because
Sir,
I'll have the link, how many people have joined, what time they have joined, what time they have left. All the data is I have with me.
excuse
I've
me, sir.
enabled all the logs. We'll find it.
Sir, can I?
And we will register and find the person. Don't worry about it. I'm sorry for that. But tomorrow, we'll definitely make it a point to join only through link, which I'll share with you. Or please don't share it with anybody. Links, okay? In any case, even if you share, it will not, because I'll give you your Zoom ID there, and you will only be able to use with that ID. You will not be able to access with any other ID. Okay? Is that okay?
Sir, excuse
Hello,
me,
sir.
Yeah.
Sir, you have recorded this video?
Yeah.
Sir, please edit it and then upload on the YouTube.
I'll do that. Don't worry about it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now it's there in YouTube. It is on the YouTube, but I'll make it unpublic.
Yes.
And
Sir,
I'll delete it, then only upload it.
Sir,
No
excuse
problem.
me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, we have registered with our official email IDs, whereas our Zoom ID is the personal ID.
So give the personal ID. That
Personal
will be the
ID.
right thing to do. Yeah.
Okay.
Please do with personal ID.
Okay.
Because otherwise, this nonsense will continue to happen if they are people, those who are coming here for a purpose. Because somebody has shared it. I don't know who has shared it. It's very difficult to find out who has shared the link. But it's a public link, so anyone can join it here. And I have not shared the link with anybody other than you people, because you people have all got the mail only through WhatsApp. Through mail. In your mail ID that you have registered. I have to check with Mr. Sasangji if he has done it like that. Okay, let me continue where I was in the last. Okay, give me 1 second. So as I discussed in the past, an hour back, that is all about, what is your collection environment, from where you have to collect the data. Then what data you are going to collect. And out of data, how you are going to process and exploit the data for generating the information. And finally, how you are going to blend the human and other methods to find the actual intelligence. So if you see that first one, operational environment is very big, it's very large scope, then actually is come out to a very small piece of information. I'll give an example for this. I was talking about, one news that Ukraine war news came in the NDTV, and it was repeated for 2-3 days. Then I found that, very interesting, something very interesting thing is there. And because nothing is repeated, without a purpose. There must be some purpose for that, but same news was there. If same day, it is okay. But if it is next day, third day, fourth day, then I found that, that information was very interesting, that it was talking about a person who is holding a missile, hand-driven missile, okay? And it's on the soldier, and he is hitting the tank. And it was a Russian tank. And he, over a period of time, hit 51 tanks. He destroyed all of them. And he was doing everything with the hands. So it was nothing was there. Think about it. It's a very big thing. That what missiles he had. I don't forget the name, maybe Stinger missile or something like that. He was hitting the head, and then he was hitting the tank, and every tank got destroyed. I tried to search for that information, whether the similar image. Okay, so in your video graph, there are something known as photo per second, okay? FPS, frame per second. So every frame, is a photograph. So you can pause a photograph and find it, whether similar photograph exists in the internet. And there are a lot of search engines for those photographs. You can go to the Pinterest, you can search in Baidu, you can search in Yandex, you can search in image.google.com. And there is something like TinEye type of, tools are there. And there are more than 600 plus tools are there where you can search those images. If you have created an aggregated platform where all these search engines will go and put it in every place and get the results, If the common results are there, you can aggregate and find it and create one result that what is that it is. Then I found very interesting thing. This particular video does have a metadata which explains everything, but location appears to be different from there. It is, and I was shocked actually, that location was of Patna. I don't know how many of you are from Patna, any one of you. It was from Patna, and it was a Maurya Lok complex. It is a very specific place in Patna. So I found interested about that. Then I found that, that person, the company that is there in that place actually is a very big VFX company who does the video editing and creating the, lot of Hollywood movies, editing work they do it. So I stopped my search there, but I was very mesmerized that, this photograph has got the metadata very clearly edges. And what is metadata? For those who do not know it, data about the data itself is metadata. Okay, so in a photograph, there was a story, let me share that story so that you will be able to correlate it. In 90s, there was a case in New York, and there is a Department of Justice was trying to put a person on trial based on some videos. The lawyer was very smart guy. He asked them, Your Honor, everything is okay about the photograph, looks like my person's photograph, but can you tell me what is the location of the photograph? Because that day this person was not there in the location. Now there was no location there. Okay, I'm talking about 1990. In the photograph, there is no location there. You have videos, it talks about a place, a photograph, but whether it is edited one or unedited one, very difficult to prove. So Department of Justice said that, we don't have right evidence. So that person acquittal has been done. But Department of Justice has written some guidelines for the people, those who make the cameras and video cameras around that. Okay, so they gave a very set of standards, which has become later on one of the standards where in every photograph, what are the information you should have it. So now those information has to be embedded as a part of your camera itself, whether you have a mobile camera. It become mandatory for every camera creation companies or video camera companies to have certain piece of information captured in the camera itself as a part of the metadata. Now, those information provides an insight about the location details, the camera from which has been taken, what is the firmware has been used, and there are a lot of information. I'll share you one slide, which will have all the information down the line when we'll do the photo analysis, using Osint. And we can see some real-time example also, code-based examples also. Now, this information provide you a detailed insight that where this photograph has been taken. You will find many times, unfortunately, people were opposing, privacy bill all the way for last 4 or 5 years time. The groups were actually opposing it. But there was something foundational component, if you want to know who has sent you the Gmail from which IP address it has sent, Gmail will not tell you. You can tell only to law enforcement agencies. And what they do they give their own IP address instead of IP address of the person. Then investigation become very difficult. So now Government of India has asked them to keep your server here and you have to give the information real-time basis. So if something is there, we can get access to those systems and we can find it. So it becomes investigation become very difficult if the metadata is removed. In Facebook, the metadata are removed. If you want to investigate, then you will have to find it from them. And if they will give you manipulated metadata, last metadata, you don't know what is there inside it. So truth becomes a problem. But a good, image intelligence can be done using open source intelligence, and significant amount of information can be extracted from a dead photograph, which looks simple, a photograph, nothing else. So the journey of OSINT, begins from there. So your Dickey model is a very important model to share. Okay. Let me share my screen again. So we already discussed this, that intelligence versus information. Collecting information does not constitute intelligence. You can collect the information, it can be data, or it can be information, but cannot be internet. The data gathered through open source is considered to be raw data until it is processed and given meaning to it. So when you do the processing, you have got a process to follow to negate all the negative informations, and the real information need to come out of that actually. And you cannot rely on the single source of truth. Many times you'll have to validate the truth statement by multiple sources to make sure okay. So the true intelligence emerges when the collected information is critically and examined and analyzed. And intelligence is taken out of, the haystack. घास के भिंड से एक छोटा सा दाना इंटेलिजेंस का निकालना, it's a very difficult job. But in the days of data science, it's very much possible, and it is very easy to achieve the goal. But you require to be very, very synthetic, very, very meticulous, very, very planned, and you need to understand the subject of OSINT very well. So this, journey will definitely enable you to do some of the automations, some of the searches. But if you want to make a career out of that, you need to build a lot of capabilities around that. Okay, you have to maintain the mindset of investigator, and that will happen. It is not some rocket science. When I started in 2004 or 2002, like this, I started with curiosity, and then I become part of that. And I really love this space. It's not that I do anything out of that. Many times I'll find something, I'll share it to some of the friends in government department here and there, and then I'll forget about it. Nothing meaningful I do on that. But one thing I do it, I'm connected with something which gives me some information which are critical for many times critical infrastructure or nations. I can tell you that much. So there is a very well-defined cycle is there for OSINT. It all starts with, requirement gathering. What is your requirement? What do you want to gather? What is the goal? What is your end goal out of that? What is the outcome you look for that actually? So unless you know the outcome, what you are looking for it, you cannot plan the journey for information gathering, because informations are plenty. What exactly you want out of that, that is very important. So suppose if you want to connect a man in Japan, that whether he's the right man or wrong man, this is your requirement. This is the name. I want to find more about this name, and I might require some more information. I have got a couple of more information about the person. This is amazing actually. And many times name remains same. Then out of millions of names, we'll have to find out who is the right guy. Give me 1 second, because that Deepak is saying he is not there. He was not done all. So give me 1 second. I don't know worry. Okay. So the second important information is that search and collect the information. That is retrieving the data. Now suppose if you have got a name and a telephone number or an email ID, you want to find more about the person. It's much easier actually. If it's just name, it is very difficult to find out. But if you have a name and a photograph or a parameter that which city he belongs to, if you have a photograph with a metadata, then it gives you more information about the person. Then you can search the Google search and find out which location this person is there. Suppose if you have a photograph, which also tells you some locational details. Locational detail can be you have taken a photograph on Paris. So you have got Eiffel Tower beta as a bit in that, or if you have taken the photograph of a particular place where the boards and other street names are clear, you can find those information. And then you can start the journey of Osint actually. But you need to have the final detail. What is the end goal you have? If you have defined your end goal well, and requirement gathering is meticulously planned, then generating information around that is much easier. Generating external intelligence is still miles away from there, but generating good information about the person is very much possible. Then we require further collaboration and information gathering. So you need to search and collect the data about the target. Now you have got name and email ID and telephone number. You want to find this is a Japanese citizens. What are the other information I can find from him? So in Japan, there are something very interesting things. You have got all the property listed. If he owns any one of those property, it is in public domain. It is a part of transparency, of that. In Government of India also planning to do that actually. Down the line, it will happen. Because if you are having more than 20 properties and you don't have any reason to have 20 property, then it is a Benami properties or wrong property, the wrong way of you have earned it. So for transparency, they have published it. So now when you have the data, you can search that which property you own there and try to locate those informations. Then you get more information about who are the partner, which company you work for. Then you will find that in that property you also have some personal details like your company of owner of a company, and then you have got more details about the company. Go and search in the company websites that if any more information can gather about him. So you can find out a lot of information around the persona. Now you have the persona and the email ID. You want to find the names. It is very much doable things because there are many sites you can go and search for email ID. Unless it is one-time use and throw ID, you can still find the more information about the person. And once you generate those data and download everything for analysis, then the next thing is the analyzing the data, which is very critical part of the journey. So you need to evaluate the information gathered from multiple sources. And many times this information comes in a very NoSQL, data. I don't really understand NoSQL data. It is not a proper data in a format. Okay. It can be unstructured data. And then you need to create a structure around that for further data mining. And the structured data can be a video, you have got it. Now video, you cannot data mine it just like that. You require to run it. You have to create the, transcript for that. Then you have to see photograph by frame to find more information about it. So getting one information is not sufficient unless you get more details into that. For that, you require a lot of unstructured to structured data journey. So evaluation of data, transforming the data through the information analysis, is a second important journey. Once you have analyzed the data, then the next journey is pivoting the data. Let's understand what is pivoting. Okay. So now suppose if you have found one particular IP address, which has been dropped at your firewall today. Okay, it's very common in any security operations center. Your firewall has blocked one particular IP because it was showing a behavior of scanning. How does it show behavior of scanning? It is scanning hundreds of ports, whether it is open or not. Same IP address. Or you can find a bunch of IP address today. 2000 IP address is trying to scan my network. And it has failed because firewall has blocked those scanning. Because those ports were not open. So we know that, it has been dropped. Now, if you have the data, failed log data analysis of 100, when you start analyzing the data, you find it is coming from same country. And IP analysis also has got a lot of geo data available to that. You can find what is the CIDR block this IP data is coming from, where it is, which country it belongs to. And then you can find a lot more information about those IP address, which is available in many of those, ICANN data, who is IP data. Like there are a lot of sites, and we'll do some exercise around that actually. And you will build a tool also around that actually, how to do the searching, pivoting the data. Now you know that these IP addresses are coming from one particular country or two countries, and you have the data now, to know. Now, suppose if it is the data is coming from Indian systems, okay? And you know that, all these data are individual machines, not a corporate machines, okay? Individual machines, you can find it out very easily. Because if it is Indian data, you will have more information available to you. Now, you know that these are all individual machines, possibly a bot machines compromised by somebody. You can send a report to certain, through a channel, Computer Emergency Response Team of India, and say that, this is possibly, looks like a malicious scan happening from these systems and looks like they are compromised machines. Now it is the job of, certain to find out and pivot it further who belongs to that data, because they might have a lot more information that you as an organization have. So when you share the data, they will generate actionable intelligence. They find that, these people are having compromised assets and enemy is using it. So they can use bot cleaning agents. They have it. They can clean the bots. They can knock off the bots. They can notify the users that you need to clean it. Or if it is a corporate accounts, which is compromised asset, which is being attacked, your systems, they can find those out, find the owners of those assets and take corrective actions around that. So pivoting is all about, finding the more information about that particular information to have more granular information about the that particular IP address. And more information you have it through various sense. So you can go, if an IP address is there, you can go and check whether it is part of control and command center earlier. So what is control and command center, boys and girls, those who are new to this? Control command center is that, that there is no one person, not that 100% are there attacking you. Many times what happens, there are, one person who want to attack you, they don't attack you directly. They come through various hops so that you can't go back to them. And last few hops will be all compromised machines, which is known as bots. Those compromised machines are actually attacking you, but they are taking order from master, which is the head of the control and command center. He sends a command and then these bots, compromised bots execute it. So if it is ever been blacklisted that IP, you can go and search in, virus total type of, organization and search for it and get the information out of that. Okay. If it is a malicious IP. So pivoting is all about finding more about the IP, which provides you insight who is potentially my attacker. So retrieving data, analyzing information, and pivoting and reporting becomes a very important cycle for Osint, which is known as Osint cycle. We'll stop here. We'll use some next 20 minutes for question answer so that, we know that you all have understand what we have said so far. Okay. And if you have any doubt around that. Okay. So I'll open it with only hope that no more disruption happens. If it happens, no worry, we'll investigate and we'll knock them off. We're not going to just like that, leave it. So boys and girls, if you're hearing my voice, it's a serious stuff. I don't mince my word, an FIR will be lost tomorrow against you and we'll find all the details about you. Don't worry about it. You are in India and your voice is Indians, unless you are a auto voice. Okay. So over to you. Let me share my screen and unshare this page. So before I close, let me share it. Okay, participant, unmute it. Allow participant to unmute it. Or else what my suggestion will be that, you raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Okay, one by one. Why don't you raise your hand and I'll unmute you?
Sir, should I remind you tomorrow for the ChatGPT manipulation trick?
Huh?
Sir, ChatGPT manipulation trick that we have talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Should I remind you for that tomorrow?
Yeah, we can show you tomorrow. No problem. Yeah. Anybody else want to speak? Okay. Parinay Wadhwaji. Let me see. Yeah, you can unmute yourself.
So can geotagging be considered as a type of metadata about an image?
Yes, that's right. Geotagging is one of the metadata. Because it's a data of the data actually. If your photograph is tagged to a geotags, which you can do nowadays with the mobile phones, it gives you precise information about where this photograph has been taken. So geotagging is one of the metadata. Even if you don't tag it, there are metadata which are available inside the photograph, which provides you metadata for that. So it's a additional metadata that you are providing, which is an open space actually. Okay, Nisikanji, let me see where you are. Nisikant, just again. Yeah, you can unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, Nisikanji.
Sir, before that, I did that previous course, that cyber defense engineering using Python. And in that, sir, we learned about extracting metadata also. And sir, in that, you have told that we can embed some viruses inside a photograph. And you also told that means it's my question that is it possible to that we can change in that metadata, because someone can change if someone can change the metadata, then it will be very difficult
There are method. Yeah, there are method of manipulating the data, but forensic analysis, which we are doing the next class, is forensics using Kali Linux. We'll cover that, how to extract the information that has been rewritten by somebody. If they have done the manipulation of metadata, it's possible. There's nothing impossible on this digital world. But you can find out, when it has been done and which place it has been done. Maybe geotagging also is possible for that. But at least you are very sure if the metadata has been manipulated, it isn't a fake one. It is not a genuine one. Yes, Simanji.
Good evening. Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Very little feeble, but you can come closer to mic.
Okay, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, better.
Sir, you told us that Python libraries, all these are written by the foreign countries, so they are not very safe for us to use. Then what are the software our Indian defense organizations? I think most of the organizations use those Python libraries for us defense.
Yeah,
so that means
you see
so that
you have to live with this, myth that everything is okay. Okay.
So
trust
our
that it is not okay, and then build your own countermeasures around that. Normally, what happens, we forget about it. I'll give you an example for that. There is a place in GitHub which provide the identity access management systems. Okay, the codes are freely available. Many organizations, more than 7 lakh users are there. They take the codes and use it in their own application, because this is a fully built identity access management libraries. Instead of writing your own, you are taking it directly from GitHub. Now the challenge is that that one is punctured purposely. It will not do any harm, but it will have access to your system throughout the life cycle, so long that system is there. But suppose if you have to take it and make it, can you make it more logical, in the sense that can we have the detection capability built in around that actually, so that if any data is moving out of that systems, we should be able to see it at packet level, at the flow analytics level. You have to build the tools. I remember that there was a C++, C libraries. I'm sure all of you are technical people, so you'll understand that. There is something known as compiler. Compiler is a interface between Alokji, please, very difficult here, unless you people are disciplined, I have to mute you people. Yeah, so otherwise I can go to the webinar mode. None of you can talk, to me forever. Okay, so the compiler is an interface between the machine and the man. So you write a code which compilers read your code, which is human written, then converts that into the binaries, which is machine readable. That's the work of the compiler. Now, though who has written the compiler, you have no clue about it. And there is something known as dead code vulnerabilities on the compilers. So C has shown the behavior of more than 300 odd, dead code vulnerabilities, which will never work. Only one very specific condition comes, then it works. Now the conditions are infinite conditions. But if someone can create that condition, the system will stop functioning. Think about it, when you're using C libraries, and I'm telling you, if you are there from the government organization also, you should listen to this. Suppose if you are using C libraries and you don't know how the compiler behaves, and the dead code vulnerability hits you, in ballistic missiles, when it is being fired, it won't reach the destinations. If the extreme situation is analyzed that way, and some manipulation has been built into the code at C library level, then you have no control because compiler is not visible to your eyes. Now you need to do a lot of significant amount of fuzz testing to find anything is there like that before accepting those code as is. That's the reason I say that, Atmanirbhar Bharat is not a call. It's not a Mr. Modi's call. It's a need of the hour. We should have done it 30 years back, actually. We should have built our own foundry here. We have not built the foundry here. Last 60, 70 years,